Hi guys, welcome back. So today we'll be taking a look at some of the Chinese stocks listed in the US. Before we begin, remember to take a second to give the video a like and subscribe as you great help our channel. Without further ado, let's first start off with Tencent. So you can see that Tencent had a pretty good rebound. We hit the 61.8% and we managed to even go past it at this 31.52, and we actually closed the week around the 78.6% at 33.36. So that puts us in a very good position to hit 35.71 next week. That said, there are also a lot of gaps that needs to be closed, so it's likely for us to come back down. So the first support to watch will be around 30.70. Second support will be around 29.60. Let's move on to Alibaba or BABA. So for Alibaba, we managed to close the week above $70, but it doesn't seem very fantastic compared to the other Chinese stocks. So currently now we are still at this 50% at around 72.15. If we manage to surpass it next week, then 75.49 and 80.24 is the next two resistance to watch out for. As for the support, we're likely to be looking, the first support will be around 70 and the second support will be around $68. Moving on to the next one, which is NetEase. So you can see that NetEase is starting to climb after it hit around $53 levels. And we're looking at a blue conversion line being well supported during the week itself. So this blue conversion line will continue as a pretty strong support at around 61.41 levels. The next support to watch out for will be around this red baseline. But now we're still under it, so it's the next resistance to watch. It will be around $66. That's it. The key resistance will be around the 61.8% and around $71 for us to continue to remain bullish. So let's move on to NIO. So you can see that NIO hit a low of 838, and we saw the pretty short-term rebound, but we came back down to retest the lows once again. So as of now, we are looking towards this red baseline here. So it's I think it's a pretty strong resistance, and this red baseline is 11.45. If you manage to clear it, then 12.63 and 13.63 is the next two resistance to watch out for. As for the support, 10.70 currently is a pretty good support for now for NIO. Let's move on to JD.com or JD. So you can see that JD, we managed to cross this 61.8% after testing it on Thursday itself. On Friday, we managed to jump towards this 78.6% at 49.84. We closed the week at around 48.93. So in the event that we can cross this resistance next week and even the $50 psychological resistance level, then it's likely for us to come back to this 54.38 territory. That said, if we pull back down, then 44 and 42 will be the next two support to watch out for. Next up, we have Baidu. So Baidu, pretty sad. There's not much of a strong rebound. You can see that we're still at 23.6%. So next week, we'll be likely to hit this resistance if we continue to climb further at around 94.65. Currently, this red baseline is around 97, so that will also act as a resistance next week for BIDU or Baidu. So next up, we have PDD. So you can see that PDD had a pretty good climb, and in fact, it is very well supported. So after clearing 61.8%, we hit 78.6%, 65.70. Once we clear it next week, it's likely for us to go back to retest the highs of 73.02. As for the support to watch, first support will be this blue conversion line at 60.30. And not forgetting on the way down the cloud right here support, if we break down the cloud, then 53.70 is the red baseline, which also acts as a pretty strong support. Then now we'll move on to the ETFs. So KWEB, you can see that KWEB initially found resistance at around the 61.8% at 23.10, and we pull back down to this blue conversion line and red baseline. Currently, we actually saw a huge jump on Friday itself. So the next resistance will be 24.69 and potentially 26.73. So the support to watch will be around 21 and $22. So moving on to the last coverage, and this stock is the ETF is CWEB. So for CWEB, slightly weaker, we are below 61.8%, 34.95. So this will be a very strong resistance for next week. We can clearly see that we hit around 34.74 levels, and then we came back down. Support will be around 29.50, and the next resistance will be 39.68. Of course, the $40 psychological support resistance as well before retesting the highs of 45.70. Lastly, we have FXI. So FXI is already past the 61.8%, but of course, there is also a lot of gaps that needs to be closed on the way down. Next resistance will be 26 and 27.40. As for the support, if we were to pull back down, 23.60, 23.80 must hold at these support levels. So overall, we saw a pretty good bounce for most of the Chinese stocks last week. So hopefully, in the event that we come back down, it's likely for us to close the gaps that we have created during the past 2 weeks. So if there's any changes, I'll give you guys an update. Thanks for stopping by. Till we meet again, appreciate the manipulation.